Hi, it's Tanya with Red Cardinal Crafts, and I'm just down in my craft room for a few minutes. We're about to Zoom with Scott's parents, so I don't have long to chat, but I'll do this first part of the video. I've been altering golden books, and I made this yesterday and today. Isn't it cute? It's the little jingle bells. I still have the golden book binding there. I added some beads and bells to it. And I did 3 signatures inside, and I kept the entire story in there, so it's still in there, but then I've got like papers and the storybooks and everything, so it's all in there, and I'm quite proud of myself. So I think this one I might keep, because in this story, where'd it go? There's cardinals, and this was the very first one I made, so I want to keep this one, and because I didn't bind it great, and my cover is coming off a little bit, so I have to reinforce that. But let me show you how I'm doing these. So in a golden book, on the spine, there's 2 staples. There's like one there and one just about here. So I've gone through all these books, and I've removed... Did I do it to this one? No, I still have more to do. Oh my God. If you live in Calgary and you're planning on buying some golden books at Value Village, I cleaned them out. So you're not going to find any around here for a while. There are a few that I left at the store, but for the most part, I took all the ones they had. So there's 2 staples in the binding, and I just peel up the paper a little bit right here. I've just been slicing it with a knife, and like I said, I'll show you here in a second. And then I just take the staple out, and then when you open up the book falls out, and you're left with the binding. So in order to have it nice and thick, I just basically ignore where it folds like that, and I just squish it up, and I put a piece of... I did it with this one, the Saggy Baggy Elephant. I put a piece of chipboard. I have a whole bunch of chipboard scraps and stuff from other projects. And so I just put the chipboard there, like so. But what I didn't do for this one, I didn't put like a piece of paper over top of that to reinforce the cover and everything to hang on to that binding. So I need to do that because I don't want to cover this up at all. But yeah, that's how I'm doing these. So I've sat in front of the TV. My fingers are so sore. I sat in front of the TV and I took all these apart. So I found a frozen one at the store. I ended up getting a few. I have some that are old. I've got a Raggedy Ann one here. She's totally apart. That one, her little golden thing came apart, but I'm just going to glue that. I've got the fire engine. I've got Paw Patrol, Frozen, like you saw. I found DuckTales. And then some of them, the Pokey Little Puppy, that's a new one. You can tell from the back. So if you have one like this, which is an older one, you can see that the backs of them are older. And I've got everything from that back to that one. There was a pink back on one of them. And then this was pretty cool. Where'd it go? I have a Christmas one that, look at this. Instead of gold, it's red. That one I haven't glued back down again. Isn't that cute? And then inside, it's like a pinkish red. Then I've been watching James Burke. He is so talented. He does like journal. Oh my God, my hair is so staticky. I'm like a little kid that's just been playing in a blanket fort. It's my hair. Oh my God, it's so dry, and we have snow. Oh, it's October. Okay, so he made, well, no, he didn't make, he bought an art journal like these. There's a company online that makes, I think it's journaling, Art Journaling the Magic or something, and they make these little journals, and they take the entire book out and they replace it with like watercolor paper. So they're really nice, but he was using these for an art journal. So I'm like, oh my God, I can totally make art journals out of these. But when I was in the store, I found this big Disney book, bigger than the golden book, and I picked out a whole bunch to do my Disney stuff. I'm so excited. This one I've decided to make into an art journal. Now I did the same thing. These were a little trickier. There's no staples. It's like glue. And then I had to peel them out and peel the thing down the side. But again, I'm going to do the same thing with the binding. So instead of it being narrow, I've opened it up like that so I can make a thicker book, and you still see the whole part of the book. This one, I think I will. This one's the alphabet book. And I think I might still put these pages in it somehow. And because they're like this, I may, like, they're not signatures. It's actually all loose pieces of paper. They're held in by this little bit of binding right here. But it's not so much signatures, I don't think. I think it's all just fairly loose pieces of paper. Not totally sure. I haven't dove into that yet enough to see. But I think what I might do is make an art journal out of this one, and then I can like draw some Disney stuff and everything. And then look at the cover. They're painting, they're drawing, they're artists. So I didn't clue into that till I got home. They had a whole bunch of these. I ended up getting this many. But this is what I'm going to do. Mickey's birthday surprise. I've taken this one apart too. I'm going to use this one to do my memories. Thank you for flushing the toilet, whoever you are. Gotta love an unfinished basement. Mickey's birthday surprise. I'm going to use that for Magic Kingdom. Now, you'd think this one would be, it's a small world. You'd think I'd use that for Magic Kingdom, and I was going to use it for Magic Kingdom. But it's actually about them going around the world. So there's England, there's Mexico and everything. So this is going to be my Epcot one. Love it. This one I just bought because I think it was adorable. And I was actually going to use that for our Disney Wonder Cruise that we did one year, but I've already scrapbooked it. And I thought it'd be fun, Mickey's birthday surprise, because it was a surprise for me and we were there for my 37th birthday. This one, Tell Me a Story, I'm going to use that for Hollywood Studios because it's all different stories. And Hollywood Studios has Star Wars and Toy Story and Tower of Terror. And so kind of story-based rides and things. Animals and Their Baby is going to, and Their Babies is going to be Animal Kingdom. So I'm going to do a separate journal for each. Now, some of these, this one has all animals and stuff in it. Some of these I didn't do so good with the ripping of the book, but it's fine. I'm just going to take the things apart. This is either going to be Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, or this one's Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. I haven't totally figured out which one. And then I have this one to do the holiday stuff. Like, we were there for Canada Day, 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas, and that's what this one deals with. It deals with all the different holidays. It has Christmas and all that. Oh, I gotta show you this. Where's the Epcot one? It's a small world. I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll show Canada. Yep, they show Canada. We're in our fishing lodges and we ice fish here in Canada year round. July, you'll find me ice fishing. It's fine, whatever. In the States, you get to go out and have ice cream, but we freeze. Actually, it is minus 20 something here today, and it's only October. So I get it, but you know, whatever. So yeah, so I have the holiday one, so that's going to be perfect for that. And then I got this one, Our Wonderful Earth. So that was originally going to be Epcot, and then once I started looking in the books, I was like, oh my god, the other one makes sense because it's around the world. So I didn't know if I should do this one for Magic Kingdom or this one for Magic Kingdom. This one's cute. It's all the, it's like the main characters, Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald and Daisy, and the nephews and stuff. So I think I might keep that for Magic Kingdom, because this one is more about like space and stuff like that. So it does have some water, so I could use that for one of the Blizzard Beaches or something. I don't know. If not, I'll make another art journal out of that. But I was very excited to find those yesterday, and they're just the Disney, they're almost like little encyclopedias or whatever. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So let me, I gotta go Zoom with Scott's parents and go do that for a bit, but then I will be back and I will show you how to put one of these together. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm back. It's actually a couple days later. All right, I'm going to show you how I have been making these. So like I said, there's a little staple, and some of these books, the golden part will peel up. And this one is one of them. So you can just peel it up and then glue it down later. I have a little screwdriver here. And I'm just going to lift up the staple. We're going to use my fingernail. I ended up having to cut all my fingernails off. I busted them so bad trying to do these books. I ended up counting the books I have, and I think I have 34. Yeah. So, and I've taken them to this stage now. I've got them all done like this and all prepped and ready. This one I put some paper in it, and I'm just about to do the signatures, but I'm going to show you with this one. If this isn't working, basically just use whatever tools you have laying around. Got this knife. Just don't hurt yourself. Those up, and now go to the other side, and I don't think this is, oh geez, it will. Okay, if it doesn't pry up like this one happens to be doing, just slice it a little with a blade. Geez, this is really just kind of coming off here. And just pry it up very careful. All right, so once you get the staples out, I'm gonna glue this back down, but look, as soon as you open the book, this is free. Then, what I'm going to do is throw these out so they don't get knocked off my desk and I step on them. Okay, now we need a little piece of paper here for the middle. So I have this one here, so I'm just going to use this. And I trim this. The book is about 8 inches high, so I just go just under. I would do about 7 7/8 by 3 inches. Like that. And I take my chipboard piece, which, where'd they go? I had a whole bunch of them. Oh my God, guys, you don't understand the state of my desk and the squalor of which I am working in right now. It's insane. Okay, how about we just take a fresh piece of chipboard. This is the chipboard I'm using. I bought this back in Bermuda. Just 8.5 by 11. Okay, so these, I kind of trim with my big trimmer, but I'll just do this one for now to show you. So these are like 1 1/8, just under 1 1/8. And I just cut it as much as I can with that, and then I just go in with my scissors. So this is gonna go, oh yeah, I gotta cut a little bit off the end. So this goes right here on the binding, and when you test it to see if it's the right thickness, you want to be able to still close the book. Okay, so you want it to fit right in there with that flat. Okay, so let's get out our handy dandy glue, which mine is always dried up. One moment, please. With your glue, and then stick it down and hold it really nice and tight. And then while that's going there, I'm going to glue this back down. Yeah, only a couple of the books did they pull up like this. And this is going to be covered with, you're going to have strings going on here for your signatures and stuff. So it doesn't have to be, you know, completely perfect. It's an old book. All right. So now you have your chipboard in here. Then you're going to take your paper, and I just score it to kind of help it along. And I just do 7/8, and then I flip it around and I do 7/8 again. I could just go over to 2 and, I think it's 2 1/8 or 1/16 or something, 1/8. But it's not exact. Like when I put it down at 1 7/8, then this one, oh yeah, I suppose it's 2 1/8. So 1 7/8 and 2 1/8 if you don't want to bother flipping it, but I just do it that way so I don't have as many numbers to memorize. And then you're gonna glue this down. Now the tricky part of this one is the book is gonna open and close, so you need to kind of work it back and forth. I'll show you. So glue your sides up like this, and then open it up, and then open it like this. And it's gonna slide around, but you're gonna kind of hold it in place. And see, it's gonna buckle. See how that's like kind of lifting up? You wanna force it down. But you want it to be flexible enough that it still bends. Because once it's all said and done, like with this frozen one, you want the book to be flexible. You want to be able to open and close it, because if you're working in it, you want it to lay flat. You don't want it to be kind of stiff like this and sort of staying open. So you got to kind of work it. And where am I? Oh. So just kind of go along the edge with the bone folder and really crease that. Oh, and not do what I just did. Crap. Okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's okay. It's all good. Pay no attention to what I just did. No, it didn't rip. It just creased in there a little bit. So don't do that. But you know what I mean? You gotta work it. And I could just put a piece of washi tape on there, which I think I'll do. No. That's gonna bother me. Okay, hang on. What I can do is take another strip of paper and just overlap it right there, because I'm gonna have a signature coming right down that section. So we're putting a paper band-aid on it. Because the thing with tacky glue is you have like a few moments to move around with it, but then once it does stick, you're done. So it's very good glue, but it can also get to the point where it's not that forgiving. And I'm a brute. I pushed too hard. It's okay, it's a happy little mistake. It's fine. All right, let's try that again. So push, but not too hard. All right. There. Now, only you and I know that, right? So let's all just keep quiet. And there. All right. So yeah, just work it back and forth. Make sure it closes up, but make sure there's not a buckle, and just really push it down. Like that. All right, now I made a little template. Where'd he go? Okay, this is just out of a file folder. So what I did was I made 3 holes going across. So I did the middle, I just basically folded it and found the middle part. And at one point I was trying to hold this down with clips and try to use my thingy here, whatever that's called, and use my, what's this, crocodile something? I don't even know. Look, I broke the leg off it a while ago, so now the thing just falls over. Drives me crazy, but it's fine. It still works. So what I do with this is I mark my signatures and I mark this center binding. So if you want to know where the holes are, so the book is like 7 7/8 high. So this thing I marked at 1/2 inch, 4 inches, and 7.5 inches, thereabouts, okay? And then what I do, instead of clipping it to the book, is I just line it up, make sure it's centered, and I just kind of eyeball it, and then I just fill in the circles, and then I punch it with my chomper thing, hole puncher thing. Okay, so I put 3 signatures in these books, and then you just line it up. And with this, I use the smaller punch. I use the smaller hole, and you just line it up and punch. And if you don't have one of these, you could just go on a hard surface and hammer a little nail into it. All right, so now we have this. Alrighty, okay, now your signatures are just basically pieces of paper that you're gonna put together. So here's our book. These generally come in 2 pieces. Last night I actually sat upstairs watching TV and just went through my paper packs, and I'm going to use this one and this one and not that one. That one has some seashells on it. I'm trying to save it for the Nemo book. This one. Nope, that has seashells. Seashells. Good Lord, how many seashell ones do I do? Okay, that was a good one. All right, so then what I will do is so I'm doing 3 of them. So I'm gonna take the first one, and what I do is I put I gotta make sure this is trimmed, and it's not. So, see how it overhangs? Now that we've done this to the spine and lifted the book up, this doesn't fit anymore. So what I've been doing is trimming it so this is only 6 inches wide. So I just line it up at 6 inches, and I just trim off this little bit. And for the most part, the lettering, the text for the book is still intact. You're losing a little bit of the extra, like this fire guy is going to be cut off there, but you can see there's like usually no words on that end. So it depends on the book. Some of them it cuts it a little close, but for these ones it's okay. All right, so take the first signature, the first part of the book, and I just take the first cover and wrap it around. Then I open it up and I take the next page and I lay it in. And then I open a few more, and then I take the third one and lay it in. So when you end up reading the book, it still flows. See, that's like the double page there. And then you flip and turn and everything. So the story still makes sense. So then the second signature, I just leave blank. I don't add any of the book in there. And then the third one, I do the same thing. So I take the first one, wrap it around, open a couple pages, take the next one, and sit it inside, and then flip a couple more pages and take the third one. All right, so there is your book, and the story still flows and blah, 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 the end, okay? So what we're gonna do is we need to put this in our book. So we need the string that I put away when I was tidying my desk. Ended up doing the Christmas ones that I had, and here they are here, and I had some red and white baker's twine, and these are the beads and stuff I put on them, and they turned out really cute. And there they are there. And I used kind of Christmassy paper in there for the bindings of those ones. And I had the red baker's twine, but I'm out of that. So I have just some string that I can use. I also have, which I think I'm going to end up using on a lot of them, but I just remembered I have some twine in here from back when I used to do my cardinal crates. So I've got this stuff here. All right. So this is a long needle. Don't even ask me where I got it. I bought it years ago for my knitting stuff. I don't know. It's a big bendy metal needle. What you're going to do with your signatures now is open them up to the center. And what I do is I just kind of flip through each one and make sure the papers are all going to get poked. Now, with this one here, if I put it just in the middle like it is now, it's only going to end up with the one hole in it. And some papers end up with just the one hole in it. But if I can, I will slide it down so it'll at least get 2 holes and it's a little more secure. So open up your signatures. And some of these you can move towards the top. You can move towards the bottom. And I think I'll do that with that one. And then move this one down towards the bottom. And then this little one, because he's so little, I'm going to leave him in the center, and he's just going to have the center thing. But once these are all bound and in as signatures, it stays, and it's not going to fall out of the book. It's fine. Okay, so here's my signatures, all nice and squishy. Squished together, I mean. We're going to take this, and then I fold it in half just to make sure I've got this thing right in the center, and then I just poke the hole, the center hole, okay? And this one I just hold on to. It's not as, the papers together aren't stiff like the book is, so it's not like it's hard to push, and I don't have to let go of it. I do have to spin it, however, to get the top hole. All right, so I'm gonna do that. And I just kind of do one, tie it to the book, get it all sorted, and then I do the next one. So hold these together. I'm gonna thread the needle, put it through the center one, and I'm gonna start at this first set of holes on the far left. So that's gonna go in there. And I'm going to pull, whoops, pull the needle. This is like the worst tutorial. I'm a little rusty. It's fine. Okay. So then I've pulled that through. Now I'm going to go back in the top hole, and that's popped right through there nicely. And then I'm going to come back in. I'm going to go back through the center hole again. And if you're having trouble, you can wiggle the papers around a little bit. There we go. And go back through that hole that you went through at the beginning. And I'll do this again, so don't panic if you're not catching it the first time. And then go back through the bottom. And there you go. And there's your first signature. So now what we need to do is just tighten this, and I've used a little too much thread or string, whatever this is. So I'm just going to pull it back through a little bit. I just don't want to waste all my string. And I'm just going to pull. Oh, I did this the other day. I went right through the string. There we go. Okay, so now what you want to do is make sure that's nice and taut. Okay, you want to make sure that's nice and tight. And now I've made it too short. Oh my God, Tanya. Come on, woman. Okay, so we're gonna pull this a little bit more. Nope, pulling the wrong string. There we go. Like that. Like that. Like that. Okay, so just make sure those strings are nice and taut, and then you can trim where the string is coming from, and then just pull it really tight. And then I just pull it to try to keep my knot towards the middle. And then I just tie it in a knot a few times. So 1, 2, 3. And then there is your first signature in your book. How fun is that? When you flip through, it has all the papers. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's do that 2 more times. All right, so again, this one isn't going to have any of the book parts, but I just want to make sure all my papers are kind of where I want them. I'm just going to sort of slide these ones up and down a little bit to give it some more interest. And then just open this up like this. And with your signatures, all you do, I just sat there with my 12 by 12 paper and I folded paper and I trimmed it different sizes, and you can use your scraps. It's a great thing to use, a great thing to do with your scraps. And then we just take our template again, and we want to make sure everything's lined up. Like that. Remove your template, and then we're gonna string, use the string, thread our needle again. Whoops. And now we're doing the center holes. Okay, so we're gonna go through the middle of our signatures, like that. Then we wanna go through the center hole right here. And then pull it through, go in the center top one, come back through, and you can see that only these top 2 papers have the string going through them, but it's all going to be held because all the holes will have gone through at some point. Then we're going back through the center, and then in through the middle bottom one, and pull it up, and get your tail, and then make sure it's nice and tight. And worst case, you don't get it tight enough, you can always untie it and try and tighten it again. And you just tie it. And these journals are great for just using as a journal, like an everyday journal. I'm sure whoever I sell the Christmas ones to will use it as a Christmas journal. It could be like the 12 days of Christmas or what you're up to over the holidays or whatever. You could always use it as a little guest book and have people sign it if you have any visitors. I don't know if we're allowed with COVID to have any visitors. No idea what this Christmas is going to be like this year. So there's our next signature, and now we're going to take the last one. And again, just flip through your pages, make sure everything's kind of lined up where you want it. And tie it a few times. And there you go. There's your book. There's your little journal, and it has the complete story in there. And you have a bunch of papers to journal on. You can add extra stuff. You can add little scraps of paper. add photos, whatever you want to do. So now what I do to do the beads and buttons and everything else that I put on here, I just take the string and I'm just going to use the needle. It's just easier than struggling. And then I just poke it through each of the top holes. So I do this strand here. I just do, I don't know, kind of the length of the book, maybe a little bit longer. And then I just tie it nice and tight. And I tie it like 3 times. And you do that 2 more times. And the one I did the other day, I ended up tying a ribbon. I just tied it around one of the strings. And then that's it. And then you just go to town and you use beads and baubles and buttons. For the buttons, I just go in one button and or one buttonhole and down. Let's spend the next half an hour watching Tanya. Okay. There. So we just put a button on. So when you go through a bead, you can go through it, and then to lock it, just go back down through the bead again. Like that. And it'll just kind of lock your bead in place. You know what I mean? So then you just keep going and add a whole bunch of beads. I'll show you these ones that I did yesterday. I put some jingle bells on these ones just because it's Christmassy. I just put a C for Christmas because I ran out of those letter blocks. This one actually says Xmas. And then I had some yesterday that I planned out because I have 2 Frozen books. So I have the word Frozen. Of course, you can't see what I'm showing you. I have the word Frozen, and I have Elsa and Anna written out in the blocks. So I'm going to hang those on the Frozen books, which is, this is one of them right here. And then the papers for that one, I might try to use a lot more blues and purples and stuff for those. But yeah, these are really fun, easy to make. And yeah, I have a bunch of them that I need to make for my Christmas craft show. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you guys are good. Hope you're happy and healthy and safe and washing your hands and the whole thing. So there's my little tutorial, and yeah, hope you guys are good. I'll be back with some more videos soon. All right, take care, guys. See ya.